Okay, so in our last session, we created this little application that essentially writes into a text area. Just writes some hard-coded text right into a text area. So let's run that again just to remind ourselves of what it does. So we're going to go ahead and run. Now it has a little bit of a timer, gives us about 10 seconds to kind of find where we want the data to go. So let's hover over top of this and it will type into there, just like that. Perfect. Okay, great. So now I'll just put that back right there. And what we're going to do in this session is we're actually going to get some code set up that will copy text from one editor to another editor. Offline, what I've done is I've gone ahead and filled out the rest of the text writing method. So the original method had, from the last session, had these two conditions here for A to Z, capitals and lowercase, and it had a couple other keys. I think exclamation mark was one of them. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and filled out all the special characters that are on your standard keyboard, all the way down, ampersand, asterisk, everything. And there are a few of them, and that's it. And then what I've done is also, uh, you'll notice that here when we do key presses in the original version, there was a delay. Instead of having delays inserted all over the place, what I've done is in the constructor, I've just gone and set a default delay with each key press. It'll sit there for 100 milliseconds to allow the event to actually register. That's it. That's all that's been done there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to expand on this with a new class that is capable of copying text from one application to another. So what we're going to do is create a new class, and we'll call it, since it transcribes, call it a transcriber. Okay, so we'll just say finish here. We'll make it extend. And of course, it's going to need a constructor. There we go. There's a constructor. Then what else? It's going to need initial application. What we did is type content. This time what we need to do is actually copy content from one place to another. So actually let's start off with void. Copy content. Okay, just continue like that. Now I believe we originally called our global variable for the robot bot. So that should be, I think if we go over here to start bot, we'll see that our global variable is bot. And so we just go ahead and use it. Now here the constructor does something. So we need to make sure that we call that and that it actually happens. So super dot that. Okay, now we can say bot. So what is the first thing we'd have to do? We'd have to go to the application. So we're going to have to take in a point. So bot dot Go to location, P. Okay, now this point, use what's that type there. Now, go to location, should exist, right? Pretty sure we did that. Click, go to location, and it's public. Oh, the bot is not the right type, so it's this, of course. This, go to location. Perfect. Then, from there, you can say this dot click, because we need to click on it. So these are both methods we developed in the last session. Then, we need to say, we have to do Control A to select all the text, and Control C in order to, so say, and actually this is probably not needed either, so let's just get rid of this, get rid of the click, this for click. Should be able to just say key press, no, actually bot dot key press key event dot vk for virtual keyboard control. Okay, and then from there we can go bot dot key press key event dot virtual keyboard underscore a. Control A, and then bot and key press key event dot virtual keyboard A. Okay, so Control A. Now we have to release the control. So it's going to be this is not key press, this is key release. Exactly. Let's just go ahead and copy that. Key release. Great. Now we have to do the same thing with the copy. So Control C. Control C. Right? Okay, so now once you've done that, all we need to do is essentially get the data that's going to be in the clipboard. So we'll say clipboard. Okay. And the clipboard is coming from the toolkit class. Toolkit.get default toolkit dot get system clipboard. So that will give us the clipboard from the operating system. And then we're going to do string text is equal to clipboard dot get data. And now what kind of data is it? Well, we're going to do text. So it should be data flavor dot string. Okay, because we don't want like, images and stuff like that. It's not what we want. Now you'll notice that there's an error message, and it says that it's an object, not a string. So we need to cast that to string. Okay, and then here, and there's possibility of an exception. So we're going to capture that in the try catch block. So now that we have the text, what we can do is essentially just return that text. And then in the end, if we should never actually end up at the end, but you never know, we can just return an empty string. And so here, the return is actually of type string. That ought to do it. So this will allow us to actually copy text out of an existing editor. Now, that should be just about everything we need. So let's write a little kicking off code here. So if we just do this, main string array args, create a new version of this. So transcriber bot. Should we call it bot? Sure, why not? Bot is equal to new transcriber bot. Okay, great. So now what do we want to do with this bot? Well, we need to get an initial location. So system.out.inline. Okay, click on the application to read from. And then the second thing we'll need to do is click on the application to write to. What we'll need to do is then essentially get the text. So data is equal to bot dot copy content, and it'll be some point. We'll need to go ahead and put it somewhere, that data, and so we'll do this bot go to the location, some other point. So hold on a second. Let's actually put this in. So point, we'll call it source is equal to something, and another point, destination is equal to something. Great. And so copy content from the source, and then you can go to the destination, and then we can click on that destination, and then we can bot dot type text, which is the data from that destination. Okay, that needs to go to that destination. Great. So now what we need to do here exactly is we need to record some data. So let's just say, let's pretend that there's some bot dot record current mouse location. Bot dot record current mouse location. Now the problem with this is that if you recall in our initial application, if I scroll right down to the bottom here, you'll see that we took the time to make a countdown before we grab the location. But if we keep doing this over and over again, like this, let's copy this. We can do that. Just stick it here, 2 loops. That's kind of annoying. So why don't we instead say, okay, well, public point get current mouse location. But let's instead this time actually put in a number of seconds that we want someone to count down to before grabbing the data. That'll save us a great deal of duplication. Okay, so now what we can do is we can say from I equals seconds, as long as I is greater than 0, blah, blah, blah. And we can say in I seconds, you can sleep 1 second at a time here. And then we can say, we don't create a new bot, we just use the bot we have, right? And we say bot dot, actually, I think we can just record current mouse location, and then we can return that current mouse location. And that's it. We should be good there. So let's do that. Return current mouse location, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is static here. This is not. So actually we need to do like that. Perfect. Okay, so let's try that now. We should be able to grab some data. So I'm going to move this over a bit so we can see our, I have a couple editors already ready. And we're going to take our first editor here. We're going to write a little something else instead. Like, let's say text from our initial editor will be cloned into another editor. Okay, great. Hope it works. Fantastic. Okay, so let's run this and see what happens. Run. So it's going to ask me to put this in the window that we're reading from. Great. And then it wants me to put this over top the window that I'm going to write to. And see, it copied, and now it's writing. That's great. That great? Fantastic. Okay, so essentially read from a source and then copy. So read from a source and type into a destination. Perfect.